Welcome back to Federal Insights, sponsored by NEC Corporation of America here on Federal News Network. My guest today is Benji Hutchinson. He's Vice President of Federal Operations for the Advanced Recognition Systems Division at the NEC Corporation of America. I'm your moderator, Tom Temin. And Benji, before the break, we were touching briefly on some of the use cases for this new generation of facial recognition technology, biometrics that NEC is deploying. Let's go through some of those in more detail across the federal domains. You've got Intel and DoD, you've got transportation and so on. What some of the use cases are and some of the case histories of deployment you've seen so far.
Sure, Tom. Yeah, so one of the things we decided to do early on was we saw the potential to take the facial recognition and biometric technology and expand upon it. And we've done so with our NEC digital platform. And that's enabled us to expand and go after lots of different use cases and support our customers in different ways. And you mentioned a lot of the big ones, but I'll mention a couple others. The first one that we see quite often, and one of our proudest customers is Customs and Border Protection, Department of Homeland Security. We have been working with them for a number of years now, and they have deployed our technology across the country at anywhere that there is a facial recognition check at a land, sea, or airport. And that enabled us to pivot into the aviation sector on the private sector side, which has been going through tremendous change, as you might expect, with the global pandemic and the effects of COVID-19. And talk about digital transformation. I mean, they really are going through that right now. But what we saw was Customs and Border Protection was able to build their traveler verification service using our technology. And that enabled this touchless, contactless, hygienic verification process. No longer do international travelers need to take out their passport to verify identity with customs officials. Well, that same use case transitioned over into the private sector with Delta Airlines. We have a deployment in Atlanta, at Hartsfield Atlanta Airport, where it is a curb to gate solution. And it allows travelers to come in and they can enroll once. And if they opt in, they can check in seamlessly without having to show anybody their passport or boarding card. They can drop off their bags, process through Transportation Security Administration, the checkpoint lines, and then proceed to their their port of departure. It's with CBP. And doing all of that without having to take out a driver's license or a passport whenever you're trying to verify identity for international flights is a real game changer. And that is for the international community now, but we suspect, and we've been talking to these various stakeholders about the domestic population as well.
Because I think both the federal government, TSA and Homeland Security, as well as the airlines and the authorities that operate all of these airports and so forth, I think for some time they've been talking about moving the perimeter of security to the gate to the airport as you drive in almost. And so if a face
Absolutely.
is recognized there, then you're good all the way to the gate and take some of the, as you've put it, friction out of these many, many encounters you have to stop and redo between getting out of your car and sitting down in your seat on the plane.
Absolutely, 100%. And we have a lot of discussions with our customers about the next generation of digital identity based on some of this technology. And another customer that we've deployed to is Lufthansa and Star Alliance. And what they've done is really novel with their Star Biometrics Hub. They have enabled a mobile app that allows customers to enroll their face once, and then anywhere along the traveler journey where facial recognition is enabled, whether it be for check-in, as I mentioned before, but also for car rental or checking into a hotel for affiliates, or even buying a meal perhaps in the aviation environment, the future will enable that through this app. And that's the type of innovation that we see. And that's only in the aviation sector. And you touched on another one that's really important. If you shift over into the defense and the intel sector, what they're doing is somewhat similar, but it has everything to do with taking the friction out of these transactions while still maintaining a sufficient level of security. Another one of our customers is the US Department of Defense, and they're looking at physical access applications. How do we grab a face through a windshield and enable smoother entry and exit from a base through hot lanes, for example? Can we grab that facial recognition through the windshield of people who have opted in only opted in, and enable the smooth flow of traffic. Those are the types of use cases we're looking at when it comes to the Defense Department. In the Intel community, it's somewhat similar, but for them, they have a need to secure highly classified environments where there's intelligence information. And so physical access, standoff verification of identities. Also, we haven't touched too much on elevated body temperature, which is another type of technology that's powerful for detecting if someone has a fever. And in a pandemic world, a COVID-19 world, that is hugely critical. It doesn't tell if somebody has the disease, but it certainly is a strong indicator that they are a risk. And coupling that with facial recognition for verification is a great way to secure a location.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want them on the plane, no matter what they have that's causing a fever, I suppose,
That's
or on the
right.
ship, whatever the case might be. But that particular technology can be integrated into the facial systems.
It can. And they work side by side. In fact, another one of our customers is the Hawaii Department of Transportation. And they have deployed this same technology to all 5 major airports in the state of Hawaii. And this was critical. They actually deployed it back in the summertime, and we'll be there for the next 9 or 10 years. And the goal of that is to increase travel, trade, and tourism, get it back on track. Obviously, being an island and relying on air travel for all those things, it was a severe impact. And so deploying that technology was it made a difference.
All right, good place to take a break. My guest today is Benji Hutchinson. He's Vice President of Federal Operations for the Advanced Recognition Systems Division at NEC Corporation of America. I'm your moderator, Tom Temin. You're listening to Federal Insights, sponsored by NEC Corporation of America, here on Federal News Network.